Hey everyone, today we'll talk about something that sounds super complex, but it is actually pretty cool. Today we'll talk about how money is created in a modern economy, the role of government spending, taxes, and central banks through the lens of modern monetary theory or MMT. Now picture this. Before 1971, the US dollar was actually backed by gold. On August 15, 1971, Richard Nixon, the then President of America, came on television and abolished this, effectively making all the currencies across the world fiat currencies. So, we all know that governments need money to function, to build infra, fund defense, pay teachers, etc. This money comes primarily from revenue receipts, like taxes and dividends from public sector enterprises. But often, especially in growing economies, governments spend more than they collect. This is called fiscal deficit. So how do they finance it? They issue treasury bonds, basically IOUs, to raise funds in primary markets where banks and investors buy them. At this point, no new money has been created. The government is simply moving money from private sector to itself. But things change when central bank steps in through a process called quantitative easing. The central bank buys those bonds from commercial banks or individuals in the secondary market. This is when new money is created. The central bank expands its balance sheet, gaining bonds as assets and creating new reserves as liabilities. For the commercial banks, it's just an asset swap. Bonds out, reserves in. Their balance sheet size doesn't change, but the nature of their assets does. The modern monetary theory says something radical but logical. A government that issues its own currency, like the US, UK or Japan, can always create more of it. So technically it never needs to borrow in a traditional sense. Then why collect taxes or worry about debt? According to MMT, there are two main reasons governments still tax. Reason number one, to give currency its value. You see, if you are required to pay your taxes in dollars, you'll accept dollars for your labor and goods. That creates demand for currency. Reason number two, to manage inflation. If the government keeps injecting new money without taking anything out of the system, it would lead to overheating, leading to inflation. Taxes withdraw money from circulation, helping keep prices stable. Well, here's where things get complicated. MMT says debt in your own currency isn't a solvency issue. It's an inflationary constraint, not a budgetary constraint. So under MMT, if government keeps creating new money faster than the economy can produce goods and services, you'll get inflation or even hyperinflation. Also, rolling over large amounts of debt means interest costs can snowball. Eventually, you may be forced to raise taxes or cut spending, not because you are broke, but because inflation is biting. So MMT challenges how we traditionally think about government finance. It says governments don't need to earn money like households do, but they do need to manage their spendings carefully to avoid inflation. A real limit is not the budget, it's the capacity of the real economy. In the next video, we will talk about money multiplier. If you have any questions, feel free to comment. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.